Today I want to give you 7 tips on becoming a professional photographer, be it a landscape photographer, travel photographer, or whatever type of photographer you want to be. Let's get going with those 7 tips and some of the things that you should really pay attention to before you're starting on this journey. The first tip that I'm going to give to you is don't social climb. Now you might be thinking, what on earth do I mean by that? Well, don't go on places like Instagram, on YouTube, start looking around at who's got a huge following, start to try and sort of get in their, let's say, inner sanctum. Don't do it with people. It's not a good idea. And even outside of YouTube, always remember where you've come from. It's extremely important that you always remember who it is that's helped you get from A to B and wherever else it is that you want to go to. Remember who's helped you in the past, because the higher that you climb, the easier it is to fall down. And if you've been really nasty to people on the way up, or not necessarily nasty, but let's say inconsiderate, those people will remember. And when you go to them for help again, they're not going to help you. So do think very, very carefully about how it is that you want to get from A to B in your career, to be able to enhance your career, to get yourself started. Be true to yourselves. Don't forget where you've come from. The second tip that I want to give you is social media. Don't think that YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all these social media channels with your huge amounts of likes, subscribers, followers, views, whatever it is that you may be after, is that golden key to success. It's not. What is the key to success is hard work, and also your portfolio, and of course also the way that you're going to be treating people, you deal with clients. Build a professional reputation rather than a reputation online just for having lots of likes and subscribers and whatever. It's part of it, it can be part of it, but it really is not the whole key to this puzzle of being a professional photographer. I can absolutely tell you that. Yes, the game has changed since I first started over 10 years ago in this game. It's changed completely with social media. People are looking to social media, but at the end of the day, you will find there's a lot of professional photographers out there that don't have social media channels. They're not on social media all the time, tweeting and doing whatever else it is that they are doing. They are out there, hard working, grafting away. They've got regular clients. It doesn't matter, honestly. So don't think that social media is a next thing for you to think about in this game of photography and trying to be a professional photographer. As I said, it is part of it, but it's certainly not the bigger picture of being a professional photographer. Don't ignore it, but also don't rely on it. The third tip that I want to give you is don't put all of your eggs in one basket. And you might be thinking, what? Just think, okay? As I said in the previous tip, is that basically you've got YouTube, social media, a lot of people last year I noticed when the pandemic started hitting, it hit their wallet hard. Why? Because they solely relied on YouTube. If you are going to be a professional photographer, you must learn how to generate multiple income streams, be it from commissioned work, from magazine work, from maybe calendars. That work is still out there in some cases. Instagram, YouTube, yes, that goes into the puzzle. And also maybe even a little bit of stock here and there, which, you know, it's giving diminishing returns at the moment, I must say. But it's still part of the puzzle. It's still part of those multiple income streams that you should have as a professional photographer. Why? Because if one suddenly starts to drop out, the others can hopefully pick up the slack, or you've got enough contacts that you can help make the others pick up the slack. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. I guarantee that if you do that, you're on a hiding to nothing and you're going to fail. So Think about how you can generate income from your photography. Learn to exploit all of those different income streams to the maximum. The fourth tip that I want to give you is gear. Everybody obsesses over gear. They must have this, they must have that, they must have the latest 50 megapixel camera or whatever it is, some Sony mirrorless or Canon mirrorless or Nikon mirrorless, whatever it is. It's not the be all and end all of your photography career of what gear you have. What matters is you, the photographer, and you and how you're taking those pictures. It really doesn't matter. When I sold my 5D Mark II, it had around 500,000 shots taken on it. Why? Because for me, it was a workhorse. It's the tool that I need to do the work that I do. I don't want to be changing my camera every iteration that comes out. It's ridiculous that people are doing this. They do it because they want to be seen to be having the latest and greatest. Does it matter? No, it absolutely does not matter with your gear. It really doesn't. This is what matters, this how you think, and then of course how you're composing and creating that final image itself. That's what really does matter, which then leads me into my next tip. The next tip that I want to give you to really get you thinking, and I know will cause debates, is megapixels. Do you really need 50 megapixels in order to be a professional photographer? Or whatever it is that the latest Sony has, I can't remember. Does it matter? It doesn't. It really doesn't. Let me give you an example, a real world example. A few weeks ago, I was giving a talk at the photography show. So I had to fly from France into Birmingham. When I arrived in Birmingham International Airport, gracing the arrivals hall or one of the corridors, wherever it was, there was a huge picture of the centre of Birmingham, where the canals are. That picture, one of those pictures, was taken by me. It was taken on my 5D Mark II, which was, I think it was 21 megapixels. How big was it? It was massive. So does it matter having 50 megapixels? No, it really doesn't. Not unless you're some high-end advertising guy or whatever it might be, where you probably really do need them. But in the majority of situations, for the majority of photographers out there doing the day-to-day work, the headshots, the calendar work, and whatever else it might be stock, you don't need it. You really don't need it, I promise you. You can do so much with 21 megapixels, 30 megapixels. As soon as you start getting up a lot higher than that, do you really need it? You're just buying into the marketing of the camera companies. The sixth tip that I want to give you is think about your skill set when you're becoming a professional photographer, and also when you are still a professional photographer. Always be looking to plug the gaps in your skills. So if you're focused solely on landscape, think about maybe trying to do some cityscapes, or maybe even think about doing environmental portraits using flash, studio flash in the outdoors and stuff like that. Think about all these different things. Your skill sets will help you become so much more better, much more rounded, and you'll have much more to offer to prospective clients if you've got a good range of solid skill sets. So think to yourself, do I really know how to use Lightroom to its fullest capabilities? Do I know how to use Photoshop, for example, in order to create what it is that I need to do to fully polish off that final image, or even Capture One, whatever it is that you might be using? And as I said, there's things like, for example, studio skills, using studio strobes and maybe trying to take those skills from the studio, putting them outside. All this, so much that you can think about as a photographer to plug those gaps in your skill set. So before you start off on this path of being professional, look at where your skill sets are and think to yourself, right, what do I need to improve? Then work on improving them little by little and then you'll find that you'll become much better as a photographer, much more rounded, and you'll have much more to offer to people as well. The seventh and final tip that I want to give you is, don't think you're going to master everything. Now, we're all guilty of doing these things, and we're all guilty of putting out things that say mastering this, mastering that. Personally, I've done it myself. A long time ago, I did a video on keywording in stock photography, mastering keywording. Why do we do these types of things? It's marketing. The reality is, though, you will never master anything. Why do I say that? Well, a long time ago, I had a background in Chinese martial arts. I used to practice them a lot, I think for, must have been like 13, 14 years, something like that. So I had a very good background in that discipline. What that discipline told me and taught me is that you never, ever master something. If you believe you've mastered something, you've got nowhere else to go. So what else are you going to do? So always think, do you know what? One day I really want to master how to do that. Just keep thinking it, and you'll keep trying to reach it. It will give you that hunger and thirst for knowledge to keep on improving day by day, little by little, and year by year, and keep going and keep improving and keep wanting to get out there and take images. And personally, that's how I live with my ethos of photography. That's what I do. I love getting out in the landscape or traveling, meeting people, whatever it might be. It drives me to keep getting out there, to think that one day I'm going to get this. Because I'm never going to get there, I keep going and going and going. So it's my driving force, because I know that I'm not going to master this. I know that hopefully I can reach a high level of what it is that I do, but I won't master it. If people want to say I've mastered something, then fine, but personally, I don't think that. So, there you go, a little bit of philosophy, as it were, to end on. So I hope you've enjoyed what it is that I've been talking about. There's been no real photography here. You've seen a couple of different sites here, actually in the local area for me, in the Loire Valley here. But if you've enjoyed it, then subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Click the notification bell up there in the top right-hand corner, whatever it is, I can't remember off the top of my head. In any case, see you on the next one, wherever it might be, doing whatever it might be. I don't know yet, but take it easy, folks. I really appreciate it. See you on another YouTube video sometime, somewhere. Bye, and stay safe.